Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech Focus TV with me, Tony Fab. We are here at the Excel FinTech Connect, and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce Nanna Bergman. Nanna, how are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me today.
Listen, lovely to have you on here. I've just been hearing the story off camera beforehand, so I'm excited to share it with everyone now. You're over at Moonrise by Lunar right now. A very, very interesting space. Sounds like lots happening. Very good news this morning, which we won't talk about today. We can't give you that scoop.
Yes.
But I'm seeing you beaming. I'm seeing you smile. You're loving your life at the moment and loving what you're doing. So tell us a little bit about the company, first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely. So Moonrise by Lunar is really owned by the Lunar neobank in the Nordics. We are specialized in helping payment firms, fintechs, or other banks that are looking to enter and expand into the Nordics. Being a fully licensed bank and having operated in the region, which is notoriously known for being super fragmented and super difficult to enter. Different currencies, different languages. Every single country, whilst being relatively small in population, have their own payment rails and lots of payment methods. So really fragmented to enter. But having been present in there for the last decade through Lunar, we have built native integrations to every single market and obviously a deep specialism in how it operates. And that's in Moonrise, we are now extending out to payment firms and fintechs that are really keen to access the consumers in the region, or the businesses for that matter.
And talk to me about that. So as you say, there's a lot of complexities about moving into.
Yes.
You mentioned there about the problems of the Nordics, the opportunities of the Nordics. It means there's barriers to entry. How do you guys help with that, and why are people attracted to the region?
So I think there's a few ways that we do help, right? Firstly, knowledge, experience, and expertise, right? So give you an example. Sweden, for instance, is often a super popular market to enter, right? And then there's been a lot of focus on a payment rail, relatively recent payment rail called Swish, which is a mobile payment rail that 80% of Swedes are now using to pay for goods or whatever they're paying for.
Yes.
And truly understanding how you get access to that, right? Getting that help to get access is one of the key kind of components of that, right? So the knowledge and understanding of what is possible. Another example in that knowledge part is truly understanding the clearing rails. So both have instant payments. We also have intraday payments, right? And there are some peculiarities about the Swedish market and those payment rails. And if you simply integrate to someone who say they have it all, but don't truly have that local nuance,
it becomes perilous,
you don't really have a service you can offer your customers, right? So knowledge and expertise definitely is a key value proposition that we're adding to our customers, right? Secondly, the ease of integration, right? So now we talk a lot about Sweden here, but the reality is the Nordics are culturally relatively similar, but the fragmentation makes it difficult, right? So we have gathered all of the Nordic markets into one API integration, essentially, right? So similar to if you're used to operating in the European region with SEPA, right? Or in the UK, where you also get lots of access just through faster payments as the instant payment rail. Here, because the Nordics having all of the different ones, you need to have a good partner that can allow for that through just a simple integration. So the simplicity of integration is definitely the second point to highlight. And then I would say third one, probably is that we are specialists in what we do, right? My absolute incredible team at Moonrise, they do this day in, day out, right? They don't do anything but working with payment firms and fintechs and banks as mentioned. So they know exactly what the pain points are, how to help these customers get through, right? When we do the onboarding, you would have a traditional bank taking half a year, maybe a year even to onboard, right? We do this in a matter of weeks because my absolutely incredible financial crime prevention team, this is all they do, right? They know exactly what to ask for, how to make sure that customers get a good experience, right? And get them live ASAP.
It's so important, that, isn't it? The power of the team behind you, and I can see it. I said it before.
I have the best team. I really have the best
team. You can see it. You can see the sort of pride that you've got in there. And that's we were speaking about your background beforehand and coming over here to head up Moonrise. What was it that sort of made it such a compelling draw for you? What was it that said, this is something I have to go through? You've had big roles before, this is another one that's come through.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the drag?
I think there's a couple of different elements that make me attracted, right? So, and to be honest, I feel so incredibly lucky that they decided to also to want me. But for me, Moonrise by Lunar, from a personal perspective, I know the space really well. I was at the Bank of London before, so I had sort of been part of building up a clearing bank from the ground up. So I knew the space really well, right? So it's fantastic to get to leverage your experience and the proven experience. That's always super fun, right? Secondly, I am Danish, right? Coming back to the Danish roots, the Danish culture, hugely attractive, right? So it's the way that a firm operates in the Nordics. If you are Nordic, at least it's the culture is, I'm just like a fish in water, right?
Yeah.
And then thirdly, which was absolutely the most important, right? The capabilities that I experienced within the team when I kind of came in, I mean, looked a little bit under the hood, like they are so sharp, right? It's not a given, right? It's you never know before you start funds, but the fact that everyone, like the competence level, super high.
How did you know? Because you're right, you do never know until you start. And I've had it myself in a previous life. I went into a business and I was told about the team. The team there were not quite what I expected to be. And it was quite a big transformation that we went through until it was right. So I completely get where you're coming from there. Yeah. So you had a good feeling about it. What was the due diligence that you did to make sure that was there?
Very heavy due diligence actually. Because it's a big decision, right?
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't say I'm a workaholic, but I do spend quite a few hours working, and my job means a lot to me, right? So I did a very thorough due diligence to make sure that I would actually be happy in this space. That's of course through the various interviews you can get a bit of a sense of like, is there a personal connection, right? And I did both met with the chairman of the board, the founder, CEO, and various members from the team, right, in person as well as of course on calls. But I also went out and talked to lots of customers and lots of partners that I knew that they were working with. So given my network in the industry, right, I knew quite a few of the partners that they had already signed up, right, and sort of
ran the case studies,
right? Ran the case studies of like how is it to collaborate and then work with the Moonrise team, right? How does that actually work, right? I of course also did the due diligence on the full tech platform setup because when you're from the outside, everyone's tech and platform looks great on the website when you read about it, right? API documentation can also be quite polished off, right? But hearing firsthand from partners on how that actually worked and that experience that they had was the sort of like seal the deal for me.
Fantastic.
And making me want to take up this role.
And as you say, it's gone spectacularly well. Some big wins.
Yes.
Everything's working nicely as a business. We're filming this on the 2nd of December, 2025. We'll be launching this video 2026. Tell us about what the year looks like for you, the team, the business. What's exciting?
Continued growth. So I think we're in a maturity stage where the first year, so Moonrise by Lunar is still relatively new, right?
Yeah.
So we started a few years ago. And the first year, of course, was very much in proof of concept, right? And working with the first initial partners, making sure that we were actually delivering value and that there was an interest in the market. Year two, and then sort of into throughout this year, right, was sort of truly validating that there was a gap in the market, right? The interest and demand that we saw early on was quite spectacular. So we, of course, spent a lot of time on really refining the product, the proposition, etc., and what we're offering into the market, right? We're now at a maturity stage where we have started to standardize a lot of our solutions, and I don't mean that in a negative sense, right? But in a way that it becomes instantly scalable for our partners when they work with us, right? And we become even faster in the way that we onboard and can kind of engage with partners, right? So I'm very confident that when we kind of look into 2026, it will just be an acceleration of that growth we're seeing.
I love that, when you've got that sort of ability to sort of iterate the business and sort of see where it goes and make it smarter and easier and faster and everything else in between. It gives you a great platform for launch, right?
Yeah, no, it absolutely does, right? And it's when you're building a company, right? It's not necessarily straightforward, and you learn a lot along the way, right? And I think what's continues to be key for me is being super, super close to all of our partners, right? So I engage in all of the conversations with our partners to truly understand and know how we need to kind of fine-tune and tweak the business.
When you're talking partners, this is an interesting sort of play for me. So when you're saying partners, are you talking about your customers? Are you talking about your clients? Are you talking about other companies who you're partnering with?
Yeah. So
all of the above?
All of the above. So when I say partners, right, I typically think about the customers that we're working with.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's really interesting terminology, isn't it? Because I think that should be absolutely a partnership.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's just seen as a sort of a transaction.
Yeah.
When you can tidy that up a little bit more and actually really have it as the language, the natural language, you're talking about partnerships, that's where it all seems to move further forward. I can see why it works for you as well.
No, absolutely. I think it depends a little bit on which industry you're in as well, right? So I came initially from consumer goods, actually.
Yeah.
And it is just a transaction, right?
Yeah.
When the customer's buying a liter of milk, right? It's a one-off transaction.
Job done.
But in our case, right, we truly partner with our customers because when they grow, we grow.
Yeah.
So it is truly our interest to make sure they are as successful as possible, right? They have the right foundation, that there is zero friction, because when they receive success in their own business, right? It's we're all happy.
That's what afterwards.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for coming over.
Likewise,
Thanks for joining us, and thank you all for watching. We will see you soon on the next episode of FinTech Focus TV. Thanks a lot.